Hey everyone, so today we're going to dive into a word we all think we know, mouth. But let me tell you, in the biblical texts, this word is so much more than what you think.
Right? When I say mouth, you're probably thinking about the part of your face for talking and eating. Simple enough. But is that really all there is to it in the scriptures? Not even close. Okay, so the original Hebrew word we're talking about is pay. And get this, it shows up almost 500 times in the Old Testament. 500! That's a huge clue that we're not just talking about anatomy. This one little word is basically a key that unlocks an incredible way of understanding speech, power, and, believe it or not, reality itself.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to look at the mouth as a voice of authority. Then we'll uncover some, frankly, wild hidden meanings of peh. After that, we'll talk about the fruit of the mouth, and we'll wrap it all up by looking at the power that's right there in our own mouths.
Okay, first things first, let's dig into this idea of the mouth as way more than just a body part. We're going to see how it represents the very source of divine command and, power.
You gotta understand, the most fundamental meaning of peh in the Bible, it isn't about us. It's about God. When the scriptures talk about the mouth of the Lord, they're talking about the absolute ground zero for creation, for law, for life itself. It is the source from which everything is literally spoken into being.
And you've probably heard this famous line from Deuteronomy, right? It's not just some nice poetry about being spiritually fed. No, it's making a very direct point. Real life, real sustenance comes straight from the divine peh, from the mouth of God. Now, to really get our heads around this, let's jump into a story we all know, Moses. God calls him to be his mouthpiece, but Moses, well, he has a very human, very relatable hang-up about his own mouth. So Moses pushes back. He says he is heavy of mouth and heavy of tongue. He's totally fixated on his physical shortcomings. From his point of view, his peh is just a broken tool, completely useless for this massive job God's giving him.
And God's response here is just, it's brilliant. He doesn't say, oh, don't worry, Moses, you're a great speaker. He completely bypasses that and goes straight to the heart of the matter. He asks, who made the peh to begin with? It's this powerful reminder that the power isn't supposed to come from Moses' mouth, it's meant to flow through it.
Okay, so let's keep building on that, because once you lock in this idea of peh as a source of power, all these other meanings just click into place. And trust me, some of these are going to make you go, wait, what?
You ready for this one? The exact same word for a mouth is also used for the edge of the sword. Just let that sink in. The mouth of the sword is its cutting edge. It's the part that does the work, that makes things happen. And we see it right there in the book of Numbers. They were put to the peh of the sword. So the word itself forges this link between the power of a command and the power of a weapon. They're both seen as sources of decisive, world-changing action.
So we've gone from a mouth to a weapon, now let's go to a place. Peh can also just mean an opening or an entrance, like the mouth of a cave. It's that point where you pass from one area into another.
It makes perfect sense, right? Just like your mouth is the entrance to you, the peh of the cave is the entrance to that whole new space. It's a really straightforward but cool metaphor that takes the word way beyond just anatomy. All right, and this one might be the most abstract one yet. Peh can also mean a portion or a share of something. So we've jumped from a physical object to a totally abstract concept of quantity. So let's recap. Peh is just unbelievably flexible. It's a mouth, a command, a sword's edge, an entrance, and even a portion. What's the one thing they all have in common? They're all a source, a starting point from which something flows or is given out.
Okay, so we've established what the mouth is, this source of power and action. Now let's talk about what it produces. Because, and this is key, in this ancient mindset, words are never just empty noise. And to get this, we need to bring in another Hebrew word, Periy. It means fruit. But just like peh, it's got layers. Sure, it can be an apple from a tree, but it also means children, consequences, results, basically the tangible thing that comes from a source. So let's put it all together. It's a simple chain of events. The peh, the mouth, is the source. The words coming out of it, they're like seeds. Those seeds grow and produce periy, or fruit. And that fruit is the actual real-world consequence, good or bad. It's what happens because of what was said.
And this proverb just lays it out perfectly. It connects the Periy, the fruit, directly to the Peh, the mouth. It's saying you are literally filled up by the harvest that your own words grow. I mean, think about that. Our speech creates our reality.
All right, let's bring this all back home. What does this all mean for us today? Because this isn't just an ancient idea about God's mouth. It's about the incredible power and the responsibility that we have in our own.
Now, to really get the complete picture, there's one more word we need, Saphah, which means lips. And the difference here is everything. If Peh is the source, the deep-down origin of the command, then Saphah is the instrument. It's the physical lips that actually form the words.
So why does that matter? Because it shows this incredibly deep understanding of what speech even is. It's not just making noises. It's a two-step process. First, the word comes from a place of power and intention. That's the Peh, your inner self. Then it's shaped and sent out into the world by the instrument, the Saphah. And that means our words are never, ever neutral. They're like a bridge from our inner world to the world outside, and they carry all the weight of where they came from.
So, this is where we'll leave it. The Bible shows us that the mouth isn't just a body part. It's a source of reality-shaping power. It's a weapon, it's a doorway, it's where life-giving fruit begins. So knowing that our words come from that deep place of power, from the Pesach, what kind of fruit, what kind of world are our mouths creating today?